Welcome to Saturday's first video. Firstly, African Union a few hours ago welcomed a landmark agreement signed between Russia and Ukraine under the auspices of Turkey and UN yesterday. Africa is facing food shortage and rising food prices. The agreement signed yesterday could be helpful as Africa is fighting hunger and poverty in different parts of the continent. Second news story is about Ethiopian PM Abiy. State media has shared a video showing Ethiopian PM Abiy holding talks, talking to Ethiopian Islamic Affairs Supreme Council's leaders. We know that this top Muslim body split into two groups a few days ago. Then government intervened. We have a clip for you showing PM Abiy in conversation with Sheikh Abrahim Tufa, who is newly elected chairman of Ethiopian Islamic Affairs Council. It is being said that PM Abiy tried to force Sheikh Ibrahim into saying that Sheikh Ibrahim liked PM Abiy. We have a video clip for you. Thirdly, a statement from Ethiopian Joint Intelligence and Security Task Force, which today confirmed that 5,800 Fano fighters have been arrested, and some other claims are also made by this top security body in Ethiopia. Some accusations against TPLF, against OLA. The Security Task Force has shared details about ongoing operation against Oromo Liberation Army in OLA. In July and in June, how many OLA fighters have been killed? Some details have been shared. And lastly, we have a new story from the Somali region of Ethiopia, where for the last 3 days fighting has been going on between Al-Shabaab fighters and government forces. Firstly, at least one colonel of Somali Leo police has been killed. His death is being confirmed, though not officially, and some have been injured too. And according to an interview of a mayor of a town which is on Somalia-Ethiopia border, this attack, Al-Shabaab attack, was not on Somalia's territories. The target of this attack was Ethiopia. How many Al-Shabaab fighters entered Ethiopia? How many vehicles were part of this operation? We have some details for you. Firstly, viewers, first news story is about a statement released by African Union. African Union a few hours ago welcomed Russia-Ukraine grain deal, which was signed yesterday. African Union officials, chairperson and president, they traveled to Russia a few months ago. They had a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and they requested Russia to lift the blockade on Ukrainian ports because Africa relies on Russia and Ukraine for its grain imports, and grain prices, food prices have gone up in Africa because Russia has put a blockade on Ukrainian ports. Ukrainian grain is pending export. So international community was trying to convince Russia and Ukraine to sign an agreement. A meeting was held a week ago in Turkey. Then yesterday, second meeting was held, and Russian and Ukrainian defense ministers agreed on this landmark grain deal. Turkish and UN officials were part of talks as well. What has been agreed? Now, Russia will allow Ukraine to export grain, and though Black Sea is mined, but it was mined by Ukrainian forces. A correction, because in a previous video I said that Black Sea was mined by Russia. No, it was mined by Ukraine close to its ports to defend its ports from Russian advance. Black Sea, close to Ukrainian ports, is mined, but Ukrainian pilots will lead the ships carrying grain through Black Sea for exports. In Istanbul, a joint coordination center is going to be established, and in the next few days, export of grain from Ukraine will start. It will definitely ease the pressure on world food rising prices. Africa is suffering the most because Africa imports grain from Russia and Ukraine, and Africa is already fighting hunger due to conflicts, due to bad governance, due to drought. That is why African Union a few hours ago in a statement welcomed Russia-Ukraine grain deal. What remains to be seen, how will it be implemented? Will Russia allow free and unhindered export of Ukrainian grain? That remains to be seen. Secondly, we have a new story about a meeting held a few days ago between Ethiopian PM Abiy and Ethiopian Islamic Affairs Supreme Council members and their leadership. Ethiopian Islamic Affairs Supreme Council is top Muslim body in Ethiopia. A few months ago, it was being led by Mufti Haji Umar Idris, but then two meetings were held at Addis Ababa at Sheraton Hotel by regional leaders of this Muslim organization, and Sheikh Abrahim Tufa was elected as the new chairman. He is from Oromia region. Haji Umar is from Amhara region. It was said by some Mufti Haji Umar Idris supporters that Ethiopian PM Abiy was behind the split and he was backing Sheikh Ibrahim. Sheikh Ibrahim is from Oromia. Meeting was held a few days ago, but state media shared its video a few hours ago. The video shows PM Abiy talking to Ethiopian Islamic Affairs Supreme Council leaders. He can be seen in conversation with Sheikh Ibrahim, a newly elected chairman of the council. And when you watch the conversation between PM Abiy and Sheikh Ibrahim, it seems as if PM Abiy is trying to force Sheikh Ibrahim to say that Sheikh Ibrahim likes PM Abiy. We have a clip for you. What are the two talking? PM Abiy says to Sheikh Ibrahim, "Do you like me?" Sheikh Ibrahim replies, "Entire Muslim community likes you." PM Abiy, "No. Does Sheikh Ibrahim like me or not? Does he see me as a son or not?" Sheikh Ibrahim replies, "This is obvious, known to the public." Again, PM Abiy says, "I want to hear right now, do you like me or not?" Sheikh Ibrahim says, "Are you asking me if I like or not?" So this is the type of dialogue which happened between PM Abiy and Sheikh Ibrahim. So PM Abiy, it is said, was trying to force Sheikh Ibrahim into saying that Sheikh Ibrahim liked PM Abiy. Now, though Ethiopian PM Abiy is being criticized that he is forcing a Muslim scholar into saying that the Muslim scholar likes PM Abiy, but the history of Muslim scholars, Muslim clerics shows that they stood up to rulers in the past. They did not step back from their positions. They always took high moral ground. So you cannot just blame PM Abiy. Sheikh Ibrahim should have the courage to speak the truth. That is what religious leaders are known for, that they don't give in under pressure. They speak out, they speak for the people. That is why they are leading millions of people. Ethiopian Muslims are being led by this body. So it's the responsibility of these leaders to speak. If they cannot, then they have no right to lead millions of Ethiopians. So I see it from another angle, that Sheikh Ibrahim wants to be the chairman of Islamic Affairs Supreme Council. He wanted the backing of the government. So he might be ready to make some compromises as well. Watch this clip showing the conversation between PM Abiy and Sheikh Ibrahim, then next news story.
ግን እርሶ እኔን ይወዱኛል? የእርሶ ልጅ መሆኔን ያምናሉ? የእርሶን
እኔ አይደለም መላው ህዝብ ሙስሊሙ ይወዱታል።
ሼህ ኢብራሂም እኔን ይወዱኛል? እንደ ልጃቸው ያዩኛል? አያዩኝም? ጥያቄ ነው።
ይሄ በግልጽ የታወቀ ነው በአዋጅ መሰረት።
አሁን መስማት ፈልጋለሁ። አሁን መስማት ፈልጌ ነው።
ይወዱኛል ነው?
Thirdly, was a top Ethiopian security body today released a statement sharing details of the ongoing operation against Oromo Liberation Army, Fano, TPLF members, GLF, Gambal Liberation Front fighters, and Gomaz fighters. And some details have been shared which I find a little difficult to understand. Firstly, the task force, which has four main government forces as members. Ethiopian National Defense Force is part of this task force. Secondly, INSA, which is Ethiopian Cybersecurity Agency. Thirdly, NIS, Ethiopian Intelligence Agency, and fourthly, Ethiopian Federal Police. These four agencies are part of this joint task force. It is the topmost security body in Ethiopia. Firstly, it says that an attack on Addis Ababa has been averted. And the attack was being planned by Al-Shabaab, TPLF, ISIS, OLA, Shine, and Fano. So is this task force saying that these elements are working in collaboration? Is there any likelihood of all these groups working in collaboration? I have no such information. That is why I am questioning it, that is there possibility of Fano and TPLF working in collaboration? Fano, TPLF, OLA, Al-Shabaab, ISIS. The statement claims that an operation was launched near Addis Ababa. In this operation, 554 criminals, suspects were arrested. 51 are from Fano, 174 from TPLF, 98 from Shine OLA, and 31 from Al-Shabaab. They were planning activities individually or in alliance in Addis Ababa. No details, just numbers. Secondly, the task force claims that between the 7th of June this year and 7th of July, in an operation in western Oromia against Shine, 153 Shine members were killed and around 900 were arrested. When these 900 were arrested, government did not share details, their names, from where were they arrested, Are they just sympathizers? Are they civilians? Or are they OLA members? Have they received training? It should be made clear who are these arrested 900 because in Oromia, civilians are targeted sometimes that they have links with OLA, they have sympathies for OLA. So, no details. And lastly, this joint task force for the first time shared details of Fano fighters who have been arrested so far. More than 2 months ago, Ethiopian federal and Amhara regional forces launched a military operation in the Amhara region of Ethiopia. The operation was against Fano militia. The purpose of this operation was to contain, to disarm Fano. Only those Fano factions which are working under the control of government forces are being allowed to operate. Most Fano commanders are on the run. Government says that 5,804 Fano fighters have been arrested. Criminal proceedings are underway against them. But again, the government is not acknowledging that it is operation against Fano. It says that operation is against those elements which are using Fano's name, which are operating under the guise of Fano. They're not Fano fighters. Actual Fano fighters are cooperating with security forces and they are being deployed to front lines as well. But these Fano factions are not Fano fighters. They are criminal elements. That is what government has been saying for the last 2 months. But we do know that this operation is against Fano. It was against Fano when it was launched 2 months ago. Masri Shah, Zamina Kasi, several other top Fano commanders are on the run. So, first time now we have received details that 5,800 Fano fighters are in detention. Fano has been dismantled, you can say, because thousands have been arrested, thousands would be on the run. So that is why Fano as the militia has been disbanded to a large extent, not completely. Some factions still operating secretly and some are operating in alliance with Ethiopian federal forces. Lastly, the statement mentions TPLF in all its claims. TPLF is involved in attacks in Gambela, it is involved in attacks in BG, it is involved in attacks in Oromia, it is involved in planning attacks on Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. Whatever happens is blamed on TPLF. Does TPLF have so wide reach that it can hit Gambela, BG, Addis Ababa, Oromia, but it cannot break the siege which it is under, its people are under for the last 1.5 years. So, Ethiopian government security apparatus has this habit that whatever happens, it tries to involve TPLF. It tries to blame TPLF for the crimes, for terrorism which is happening in parts of Ethiopia. Lastly, viewers, very alarming details are being received from the Somali region of Ethiopia, where 3 to 4 days ago, Al-Shabaab fighters attacked Ethiopian territories. Firstly, it has been confirmed that it was not attack on Yid and Ato, which are towns in Bakul zone of Somalia. The attack was on Ethiopia. Why? Because today Yid mayor, his name is Abdul Salam Duwane, in an interview confirmed that attack on Yid and Ato by Al-Shabaab fighters was a decoy. Actual target was not Yid and Ato. Actual target was Ethiopia. They carried out attack on Yid and Ato just to keep the forces there preoccupied. some camps of Ethiopia's Somali Leo police in Yid Ato were hit. Meanwhile, hundreds of Al-Shabaab fighters entered Ethiopia. Around 400, according to this mayor of Yid, he says 400 Al-Shabaab fighters entered riding 18 vehicles. So the target was Ethiopia, and it could be a retaliation for the killing of Al-Shabaab commander, who was killed in Afdir zone more than a week ago. So confirmation that Al-Shabaab is attacking Ethiopia. Second attack, first one happened around 8 years ago in 2014 or 15, I think. Secondly, last night there was heavy fighting in Al-Kari. Al-Kari is in Afdir zone of Somali region. And it is being said that at least one commander of Somali Leo police has been killed. His name is Colonel Gagale. Most sources are confirming that Colonel Gagale has been killed. Names of some other commanders are also being shared who have been killed or injured. Commanders of Somali Leo police, but we have not received any confirmation. Reportedly, Colonel Gagale of Somali Leo police has been killed. And fighting happened last night near Al-Kere. Secondly, Ethiopian Air Force is involved as well. It is conducting airstrikes on the vehicles, convoys of Al-Shabaab fighters. You can see some destroyed vehicles. These are vehicles used by Al-Shabaab fighters, and reportedly they were destroyed in airstrikes, drone strikes by Ethiopian Air Force. So Ethiopian Air Force is involved in this operation. Thirdly, what is the overall situation now? So far, no statement from Ethiopian government. Somali regional government as well. It means that government is not in control of the situation. Some sources say that Al-Shabaab fighters have been pushed out of Ethiopia, that clearance operations are underway. But since government is silent, that is why it means that government is not in full control of the situation. Fighting is happening in Afdir and some say in Shabale zones of Somali region as well. Overall, it's an alarming development that Al-Shabaab carried out a direct attack on Ethiopia. Ethiopia will have to strengthen its border security mechanisms. Otherwise, this southeastern border will become seriously vulnerable. Thanks for watching.